So after 5 long years,
We just started.
Where's Rahul?
stuck in traffic.
He said 20 minutes he'll take.
Oh,
He's just approaching Barabulla.
Barabulla.
So not a chance he would make it.
Yes. So Rahul will come in the next 20
who's
to
this?
Yes.
Our new producer.
He's back after a year.
After a
Yeah.
year.
After a
Yes.
year.
That is true. Went in 2022, has come back in
2023, absolutely. And talking about coming back after a year, ODI's returned to Kolkata Eden Gardens after 5.5 years.
5.5, yeah.
The last time we saw an ODI was India versus Australia.
Well, yeah.
And Kuldeep, I think, took a hat-trick in that.
Yes.
Was that the
Yes,
match?
Yes, he did. India was supposed to play South Africa here, but unfortunately it got cancelled due to the
2020,
coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah.
And Sri Lanka will have very mixed memories of this venue.
Absolutely.
India where they were awarded the game by default, Sri Lanka, in that 1996 semi-final when the fans just could not digest the hurt of that loss.
But
And 2009, first time Kohli, the GOAT, came into the picture because he scored a century.
Oh, it's like that only. Let it be.
Yeah, and shared a stand with Gautam Gambhir. And Eden Gardens in that way holds some very, very iconic and good moments.
Those good memories for Rohit Sharma as well.
exactly.
264.
That was
from
also
4.
the last time these two teams played at Kolkata. That
Also
was the
against
last
Sri Lanka?
meeting.
No, they played a test match also. A
ODI.
rain truncated test
ODI.
match. Yeah.
ODI.
Dropped on 4, went on to make 264.
64.
Talk about the most expensive drop of the decade. That was it. And Sri Lanka, after having put up a kind of decentish fight in Barsapara, made 306 for 8 after in 179 for 7. But it was the Kohli Rohit show. The Viro Jodi, 113 by Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma with 82. Shubman Gill also with a
good
very
70.
70 of what?
Yes.
60 deliveries. or
But what a
something.
coincidence. I mean, last 2 knocks of Virat Kohli, the 72 and the 73, 113, all on the 10th.
Yes.
December 10th in Mirpur,
Yes.
January 10th in Guwahati.
And you're looking at the first test match, by the way, around the 10th of February now.
No, 9th Feb.
So that's what I'm saying. Around that time. So
Oh,
yes.
he could hit
Exactly.
February 10th his test century also. So
Yes.
yeah. The latest news that we are getting from the Sri Lankan camp, by the way, before we get into the toss, is Dilshan Madhushanka has been ruled out because he suffered an injury in
Shoulder injury.
Shoulder injury in the first ODI.
Yes.
And that is why changes will be galore in the Sri Lankan team. Maybe Vellalage might not play.
Maybe. I think they'll stick with him, no?
They should, but yeah, bad match for him in Guwahati.
Yeah, definitely not a
70
great
runs
remember.
and
It was a bad match for the whole team. So perhaps they'd want to stick
Dilshan,
with it.
what do you call Dasan Shanaka would disagree with you.
Yeah, Shanaka would. Even
And
Nishanka
even
also
Nishanka.
perhaps.
Yeah, even, yeah. True.
Nishanka,
Nishanka.
Desalva. Dhananjay Desalva was
Dhananjay
also.
De Silva.
Hey, he also
But
contributed.
Vanindu
with the bat.
Asranga was a disappointment.
Yeah.
Big disappointment.
Bad with the ball, bad with the bat.
Bad with the bat. That shot that he played, unpardonable. Because at that time, Sri Lanka was scoring at a decent rate. But unfortunately, it just could not happen. And today, India, will they make any changes? Highly unlikely.
They
No,
there's
should
no
not.
need to.
Unless there's a need to, i.e. an
Yeah.
injury which we haven't heard of.
I hope so. Because with this Indian cricket team, predicting the 11 is the biggest challenge.
That is true.
It's been there for a very, very long time now.
Love the amount of fans who've turned up in Kolkata.
Excited, you know.
Yeah.
It's a city that loves its cricket, football, and sport
its
in
sport,
generally.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
ODI match happening after 5 years. Well, they would
No,
be
but
more than excited for it.
unfortunately, in the last couple of years, we have seen, apart from T20s, the attendances for ODIs and tests in Kolkata has been very, very low. Unfortunately.
But that's what
But
the
look at that, there's a decent amount there. It's 1 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon. Not a bad
See, but the
turnout
unfortunate
for...
reality right now with ODI cricket is it's not getting a lot of support, and the support
And
and love for ODI
Dasan
cricket has.
Shanaka's one of the
100% he's going to bowl. Sure, he'll bowl.
We'll field first, I guess.
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
how
wait,
about
no.
bat?
Oh,
Okay.
Courageous.
very
Very
courageous.
Courageous.
Yes. And Sri Lanka have won the toss and chosen to bat at the Eden Gardens.
Wow.
Because remember, when they won the toss in Guwahati, they chose to bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe they think dew won't be as much of a factor here.
Due, Kolkata.
That's what I'm saying.
They're saying it's around 10, 11 degrees later in the evening and about 25, 27 during the day. We'll have to wait and see if dew plays a role, but doesn't look like it'll be the dominant factor
Yeah,
in the
doesn't
evening
look like it.
because it's a courageous decision otherwise, because this team would be more confident chasing anyway.
I think it's the trend now for white ball cricket.
Yeah.
You look to always, know what you're chasing rather than put runs on the board, let's say.
And Virat Kohli and chasing, oh boy, that's a match made in heaven. So Rohit Sharma also loves the Eden Gardens. I think his only one IPL century also has come at the Eden Gardens. He scored against the Kolkata Knight Riders.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's his only one IPL century that he has.
Typical.
Yep, and 264 at the same venue
Yes.
9 years ago. Excellent. So let's see if there are any changes in the Sri Lankan lineup, and let's see what is the Indian
Beyond the
team.
predicted one, you mean?
Yeah. Okay, two changes. Nissanka out. Patum Nissanka's out.
That has to be because of an injury, because no other reason.
But then
to-
they would have confirmed the injury along
Nissanka.
with.
Yeah, can you just
Patum's
zoom in,
out.
Saransh?
Patum Nissanka. He scored a attacking 50 by the way in the first.
I mean,
ODI.
attacking and Patum Nissanka are two words that don't normally go together, so very shocking that
Two
he.
changes. Madhushanka and Nishanka are out.
Patum Nissanka's out. Yeah. So anyway, Rohit wanted to feed.
He always says that, to be fair, in tosses. Whatever happens, he'll like, we wanted to do this only. Right? So, I don't know. Let's see how much truth there is to what he says here.
Okay, and we have the Sri Lankan team. So Nuvanindu Fernando was making his debut today.
Okay.
Avishka Fernando, Kusal Mendes, Dhananjay De Silva, Charit Asalanka, Dasun Shanaka, Vanindu Hasaranga, Chamika Karunaratne. Oh, they have persisted with Vellalage.
There we go.
Dunit Vellalage is there, Kasun Rajita and Lahiru Kumara is there.
The
right?
Lahiru,
So
we
Lahiru
did
for
say-
Madhushanka.
Yeah.
Yep, so that is the thing. And we now have the Indian team as well. Okay, Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Hardik Pandya, Aksar Patel, Kuldeep is in, and no Yajuvendra Chahal. Of course, Kolkata. He loves bowling at this venue anyways.
Wow.
Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami, Umran Malik.
So, one change is that Yuzi Chahal has been dropped.
Yes. Chahal is out and Kuldeep Yadav is in. And looking at the past record, maybe that's the reason why Kuldeep has been bought in.
No, I understand. See, playing Kuldeep is always a decision that I love. I love watching the guy bowl. Very attacking spinner. Looks to get wickets. Although Yuzi was just finally kind of getting some
getting into
momentum
the
his
groove,
way. So,
yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, I don't mind, I don't mind seeing Kuldeep Yadav bowl ever.
Yep. So these are the three changes in both the teams. There is no Patum Nissanka, there is no Dilshan Madhushanka in the Sri Lankan side. But there is a major change with Yajuvendra Chahal out and Kuldeep Yadav in. So that,
Nikhil, opening comments from you. You seem to be
I'm
contemplating
listening to
something.
you guys, yeah.
Is the coffee too good, or you just deep in your thought?
Listening to you guys, yeah. It's a slow start to the day, so I thought I'll get into the cricket later.
Yep.
It's freezing cold in Delhi at the moment.
It
so
is,
I
yeah.
need my coffee.
But Spear, we were just talking about how cold it could possibly get over the next 1 week or so, because
Is
there's
it gonna get
warning of a cold blast. Temperatures in the plains could range from -4 to about
Where did this come?
everywhere. It's out
Really?
there now, yeah. Especially in the plains.
You're saying it's going to get colder than it already
yes,
is?
Wonderful.
-4 they're saying. Especially in the plains in the northern belt.
Saransh has got this weather with him. From wherever he has come. Where have you come from, by the way? Ah. So, I can't believe that.
Yes, cold blast.
Because I thought after 14, because I read that the
Sankrant.
cold wave is gone. And now that another
To be fair, the
Cold
cold
wave
wave
is
is gone. The blast is coming.
The
no?
blast is on its way.
This is different.
blast
The
is-
blast is
Yeah,
there.
it's
Now,
they're
it was
calling it
not
a
a
cold
wave.
blast.
yeah, the vitality blast, like it's coming. Oh boy, but minus
blast is coming.
Yeah.
-4, imagine that. Wow.
Where's Rahul Rawat? Is he
Not
coming?
sure we're going
Yes,
to have a
hello.
blast in those temperatures, but
We won't have a blast.
Oh, I love cold weather. Bring it on.
well, the studio definitely makes us feel like -4, -3 anyway.
They have no matches. Where's the third ODI?
Thiruvananthapuram.
So they've not kept anything
There
in
is-
the north.
Yes.
No, but isn't that like aren't one of the Australia matches? But,
Yeah,
but
that's the
then,
test match.
fair.
Test match is here. The second test
When
is
are
in
the
Delhi.
New Zealand games?
The New Zealand games are in Raipur, Indore, and I think it's in Hyderabad. None.
so they're gonna be
one
away.
is in Motera. Sorry, Motera.
But is Motera that cold? I don't think so.
Not
No.
as-
So
not as
basically
much.
nothing in
Nothing in the
India.
northern belt. I think they
So nothing
suspected
to
it.
worry about, because what happens in north, day and night you can't play in this cold
Not at
weather.
all.
You have to play a day game,
Yes.
and day also, because of fog, sometimes you can't start on time, so
Yeah.
not possible to play
Also, I'm pretty sure Delhi wouldn't have been in the reckoning as a venue because of the poor air quality as well. Let's not forget what happened with this very team when they played here. So,
No.
also, yes, the temperatures have dropped, but the air quality continues to be in the severe category in the national capital.
Yeah, but I think that was like in real bad shape when that thing happened.
Yeah, there was
where
Bangladesh.
Sri Lankan players came.
Also-
No, Sri Lankan players came wearing
Yes,
masks.
wearing masks.
I remember that game.
There were reports
at
of a couple of
Firozshah
players
Court.
puking as well.
Dhananjay
Yes.
Dhillon puked.
Throw up. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so Chahal was
That
injured.
is.
No, that time, yeah, the AQI was like 1500
Yes.
plus. It was
So it
terrible.
was-
It was terrible.
It was a lot. Yeah.
And so, yes, Kuldeep isn't because Chahal is injured, right?
Okay, he put in a dive and hasn't recovered well today. So Kuldeep Yadav comes in. I hope that's not a long injury layoff.
I mean, Kuldeep would be, smacking his lips at this chance, though. I think he's been waiting very patiently since that fifer in, where was it? Bangladesh? No,
Bangladesh.
No, Mirpur, yeah.
No, Chattogram.
Oh, it was Chattogram,
Chattogram.
right. So, I think he hasn't played a game since and
hasn't
he's
played.
been biding his
That's
time.
what now, whenever he takes a 5-wicket haul, he never plays after that.
He'd hope he doesn't get that many wickets then.
See, even after the hat-trick that he got in Kolkata,
Yeah,
it was the start of his decline, unfortunately.
I remember, yes.
So, unfortunately, the Kulcha duo have been separated, unfortunately.
So first thing is, I'm really surprised that Sri Lanka have won the toss and decided to bat first on two accounts, because this is winters and in Kolkata you end up getting dew in the evenings in winters. I believe Kolkata till some time ago got cold as
It
well.
did, yeah.
Cold according to Kolkata standards,
Yeah.
not Delhi standards, where usually when if it drops to like 15, then monkey caps are out.
No, that's wrong. When it drops to 25, the monkey caps are out. It drops to 15, then the mufflers come out.
Yes.
Kolkata people can't stand cold.
25 can't be
That you're
20.
talking about Mumbai.
20. Okay, let's
That you're talking
find a
about Mumbai.
median.
20.
15 and 25.
Yeah.
So when it reaches 20 maybe, so whatever, it was cold by Kolkata standards. So winters are there, which means that you will have dew in the evening. So I'm a bit surprised that they've gone in to bat first. Secondly, whatever I've been, reading of the Eden Gardens, it's almost impossible to defend a total here. Whatever you might put up, which you think is a good total, more often than not, teams chase it down. So you'd rather be in a position knowing how to bat than batting first and setting a total. So all that put into it, unless of course the difference is that India batted first in the last game, won convincingly, and that's weighing heavily on Sri Lanka's mind. So they've said, let's bat first this time, put a total. And sometime I guess for teams which are, they're not evenly matched, to put it mildly. So there is a mismatch of sort in terms of talent. Sometime if you're in a situation where you're the underdog, then you decide, okay, let me just bat first, so less pressure, let me put a total, and then hope that if I do get over 300, even though it will be chaseable at the Eden Gardens, because two things that we know about this particular pitch is what we're going to know. It's a belter of a track, small boundaries, all of that put together. So, but at least you know that, okay, I've got 300 on board and that's my best chance to put the other team in pressure. Otherwise, against this strong Indian batting lineup, if they are to bat first and they get you 350, 9 times out of 10 we're going to be losing. So I think that is the thought process that Sri Lanka had, and that's why they've done it. But I'm guessing if India would have won the toss, it would have been a no-brainer. They would have decided to chase. So I think both teams in that sense have got what they were looking for.
So Mridul Krishna saying last 6 ODI games in Eden Gardens, batting first, the team has won.
Actually, to bring that point, Dasan Shanaka at the toss did say that stats do suggest that it's better to bat first.
Also,
For
I
some
remember-
I
reason.
wonder why.
Yeah.
India against Australia, when they last played here, India had posted somewhere around 250 or something.
Yes.
And ended up when you had that concerns whether India would be able to defend 250 in Kolkata, but they did. I think Australia got out for something around 200.
Yeah, Kuldeep Yadav took a hat-trick.
Hat trick, yes.
And Meet Soni, that is the question that you were asking. When was the last time India played at the Eden Gardens? It was against Australia in 2017.
Yes.
So that is why.
No, so what I was saying is, just minimize that, Saransh. I'm saying that in terms of Sri Lanka, India having saved that, one thing that you had begun to notice was that recently at the Eden Gardens, you started making or leaving a lot of grass on the pitch. That started happening, and that started happening under the tenure of Saurav Ganguly.
Correct.
Yes.
And so ever since he took charge, they wanted more bowler-friendly conditions, so they started leaving grass. But I don't know, I just had a glimpse of the pitch there. Maybe, I don't know, it was the strip next to the main pitch, I'm not sure. But that didn't seem to have a lot of grass. Seemed like a brownish kind of a pitch to me. Which is why I'm saying, in those games, maybe, and I don't know the stat, maybe the stats are favouring teams batting first because of that change of, or the nature of the pitch that they had changed recently. But maybe they've now gone back to board president has changed now.
Yeah, but then it's stayed in the family, so
But doesn't matter.
I don't know. I think
Family
we'll stick
trade?
with that, huh?
Do you have a
Family?
sibling?
No, only child.
Do you have a sibling?
No, only. Thank God.
I
He
do.
does.
Do you always agree on
No.
sometimes?
Mostly disagree.
You agree,
Yes.
disagree, isn't it?
There you go.
You
There
agree,
you have
disagree.
your answer. So not necessary.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that there is any connection. I'm just saying that it seemed like that this is not that kind of pitch which they would leave a lot of grass in.
Sri Lanka seemed to be living in the past. Remember, they won in Eden Gardens when they batted first in 1996, that World Cup semi-final.
That was like,
Oh my God, 20 odd years back.
27 years ago.
by the way, if I tell you that story about 96 World Cup where India could not chase, and we all remember images of Vinod Kambli crying, and it was heartbreak. It was heartbreak, especially because you had beaten Pakistan in the quarter-final and you were on such a high that, you know, this was considered that, okay, you, though that particular World Cup, Sri Lanka had beaten India earlier also in the tournament in Delhi, hammered India. So you knew, but you had a great start also, you know, Srinath getting both the dangerous Kalu and
also
Jayasuriya
Purusan, I think
early.
he got out
Yeah.
cheaply,
So they got them early. But I'm saying just with that game, come Mr. Rawat,
You
we went shopping together.
You sprung a surprise. A belter of a track. You also got a what? 20 minutes.
We'll
Difficult
have
to
to
make it.
do some arrangements from my
I'll have
end.
to come there. You have to come here.
which-
So I'm saying he was talking about a 96 game. But I was just telling about that 96 game. India were chasing and that pitch became a minefield. It was turning square. Sri Lanka won. World Cup. It became a minefield.
First
where
or the second?
Second. First to here, Delhi hammered. The Eden Gardens, saying India made a mistake chasing because that, to be fair to the Indian team, that Sri Lanka played well, to be fair to the Indian team, it was a square turner. The ball was right.
Yes.
Jayasuriya is getting wickets behind the legs, you know. So it was like turning. But I'll tell you, in the team meeting, when that happened, and a member of that team told me that one guy in that entire team who never spoke, his name was Navjot Singh Sidhu. He used to never speak. Like in the team meeting, whenever you had any match, everyone contributed. The junior most player also would say something. Like in the team meeting on the eve of the game, you would say, "Acha, kya karna hai?" Whatever. No, I think we should play two spinner. Everyone has a contribution. Now, when you discuss, everyone says. Navjot Singh Sidhu used to be the only guy who never had anything to contribute. He just quietly listened. The only time he spoke in the team meeting was on the eve of that 96 World Cup semi-final, and he said, when everyone decided we should chase, he said no, we should bat first. He was the only guy. But obviously, because he spoke for the first time, nobody listened.
No,
And they did not.
Even Azharuddin was spooked, no, because they were good at chasing Sri Lanka. They chased
Yes,
down and
I
they
know. I know.
And at that time, it seemed all over for Sri Lanka. You know, first two.
First two,
overs.
yeah. Little Kalu and
Yeah.
just Jayasuriya
Imagine.
gone.
And Gura also out.
Gura also out, yeah. Though Gura wasn't that dominating that World Cup.
Except
like,
the final.
like Aravinda, Arjuna and the two openers. They were
Mahanama.
like, and Mahanama as well, yeah, lower down.
Okay, okay, third man.
Of course, Russian Manava.
What a team.
That was a-
Dharmasena and
Of course.
two spinners, they
Muralidharan.
played two off spinners.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm just saying, imagine how much, now just because I'm recalling that team was playing two off spinners. Today you are saying we don't want an off spinner in
You don't
white
want
ball
one off
cricket.
spinner.
Yeah.
In white ball cricket, off spinners have become kind of redundant.
Even three, right? Even Aravinda would.
Aravinda would bowl, yes, actually.
Aravinda was the key.
Yes, Aravinda would.
Arvinda, yeah.
Murli Aravinda, I know Aravinda would bowl
And
a
Jayasuriya
lot of
left
overs.
Left arm.
Yeah,
There was only Vas and Pushpakumara.
yeah.
Pacers.
That too, they cut also bowl cutters only. So
Yes.
effectively.
Pushpamara was quick.
He was.
Modern is actual Vakar Yunus.
Exactly.
Pushpamara was
Ravindra Pushpakumara.
That was a
That's a
team. And
great
Jay Surya would bowl.
Yeah.
His overs deadly always.
Yeah, what a team that was. Sri Lanka.
You wouldn't have been supporting them, na? At that
I
time,
didn't like
so-
the behavior of the Indian cricket fans at that point in time.
But were you supporting Sri Lanka when they were doing well in
I
96?
liked Sri Lanka from the beginning.
At that time also, you allowed in your house to be supporting them.
And I would
Talk
like...
about 90s, huh?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Only for one man, Arvinda. Ari.
He's my all-time favorite, Mad
And
Max.
Ari-
I've met him few times. Never gives an interview. Never. He'll chat with you like that. Never gives an interview.
Yeah.
Mad Max. And first time I saw him was in Colombo
Yes.
in a hotel, and he came in a red Ferrari.
He's got a
Two-seater
passion
Ferrari.
for cars and cakes.
That's why he's called Mad Max.
Mad
na?
Max.
Cars, he
The
drives fast cars. He drives.
Of course.
Cakes.
Cakes. He loves cakes.
That kind of showed.
That's why Ari... It was only because of Ari that I loved Sri Lanka.
He was a beast of a player.
Of course.
Next level. Aravinda. Mad Max. Huge fan.
And also
If I make my all-time 11, he will be in my team.
the,
Or world 11.
the simple...
No, of your favorite players.
Yes.
No, so I'm not saying all-time has to be the best player. Sometimes, like whatever. For example, like Vikrant likes Sandeep Patil. He will not make all-time 11. But if he was to make his all-time, he'll put it. No, because, so like, I'll put Aravinda, I'll put Sakleen Mushtaq,
Yes.
in my all-time.
Yeah. Sakleen, especially in ODIs, he can
Yeah.
always make it to anybody's. ODI.
Though if you make a lot of people won't put. Lot of people will not put Aravinda and Sakleen because when you make I'll tell you why. Because the slots will
You
go to
will have Murli,
Sachin
Shane Warne,
and
in terms of
Lara,
score.
Sachin, all these. So I'm saying everyone will pick the conventional 11. But I'm saying if you were to pick your own personal favorite 11s, which has got nothing to do with like world 11, like your then maybe you can fit. I tried to make these in my
Like, I
mind
might
sometimes.
have a Jeeta Karkar.
Exactly. Like I'd have Manoj Prabhakar, by the way, in my team. So there was a time I used to love, especially that early 90s.
What a day to remind about Manoj
I
Prabhakar.
know.
You're talking about the 96 World
I
Cup.
know.
The
Went
Sri
out of
Lanka
retirement,
game.
unfortunately, after the Delhi game. Bowled off spinners his last 2 overs.
But I liked him, and the only one who's had some sort of praise for Manoj Prabhakar was Sanjay Manjrekar. If you read his book, if you read Sanjay's book, the one, and Sanjay is very critical of most players and himself. In that entire book, he is self-deprecating, and just looking at things that he did wrong. The only one he praises in that book is Manoj Prabhakar. Says simply because he talks about that time where he said, listen, I played in a team where Pakistan were always the superior team.
Yeah.
And they would like dominate it. So like the only guy who would look them into eye and like give it back as good as he got used to be Manoj Prabhakar. So he's like, he was the only guy.
Language also, no?
Language also. And he was the same
Yes.
kind of a player, where
And
And his excellent record against Javed Miandad.
yeah.
Very utility cricketer. He could bowl,
Yeah.
he could bat, and had that ability to reverse swing with
Yes.
cutters, everything he had.
So he says in the book, Sanjay, he says, why I like, because a lot of people don't get to know things outside. So he says, there was a time in Indian cricket, and all of you would know in the 90s especially, where batsmen were very protected, right? And there were times batsmen would pull out of games if they saw a green track, players would be. So he said he was the only guy in tough situation, like let's say good bowling, green track, nobody wants to open. And so the captain said, Manoj, will you open? He said, yeah, I'll do it. So he never said no. Anything you told him, he'll say, okay, I'll do it. So he's like, that was a rare attitude in Indian teams then. Now it may have changed. But he said in that time, Prabhakar's one thing I read in one of his interviews where he was saying that he says that, so he was saying, now what's wrong with Indian cricket? Old interview when he was playing. So he says, because the people who select players are all wrong guys. So he gave an example of himself. He said, when I was doing a trial in Delhi for under 19, Prabhakar, so he said, in nets they take the trial. So he said, I was bowling in the trial and I bowled well, and after the list came, my name wasn't there. So he said, my coach or whatever went and asked, yaar, how come his name is not there? So he said, the guy who was asked to select, he says, नहीं वो उसकी तो बॉल ही सीधी नहीं आती, हवा में घूमती है, और बॉल ही नहीं सीधी आता, उसको क्यों select? तो ऐसे तो लोग हैं जो select करते हैं.
Even as a coach, he was a very hard taskmaster. He was a hard taskmaster. Yes, very, he could be very.
Oh, yaar, I tell you, Ajay Jadeja told me a story of, He says when he joined the Delhi team, Delhi Ranji team. So he says, if you went to the dressing room, there is to be 6 sofas, whatever, in the full dressing room, big sofas, which all the team had to sit. But he's like, out of the 6 or whatever, 5 were marked. One was Ajay Sharma, one was Raman Lamba, one was Kirti Azad, one was Manoj Prabhakar, and one more, I forget. Right? So 5, he said the 5 gundas. Their sofas were, they used to sit alone on the sofa. Nobody could sit. And the 6th sofa, the rest of us had to manage. So those were like kept for the 5. And Arun Lal, I read an interview with Arun Lal, he said, no team in those days wanted to play Delhi in domestic cricket. He's like, because he said, I has to go out to bat from Bengal. But he's like, your eyes would, ears would bleed with the abuse that would come out. He's like, Manoj Prabhakar with the ball, abusing after everything. From the slips, Ajay Sharma, short leg, Raman Lamba, Kirti. He said, just non-stop. He said, I didn't feel like batting. Everything was like bat from every corner.
Ajay Sharma and Raman Lamba, they were huge figures in Delhi cricket.
Yes.
Even, I think not just in Delhi, if you look at their records in domestic cricket, first class cricket, I think Ajay Sharma must have scored
Legend.
8,000 runs, I guess, he scored in first class
8,000
cricket.
must have an average 8,000-9,000 runs
Average
in first
of
class.
over 45.
At 45 must be over 60, if not 70.
They used to say about him that he used to actually in the
Played
dressing
just
room
one
say,
test match.
in the dressing room he used to say, abhi 100 maar ke aa raha hu. And he would actually go hit 100 and come. Like he would go before going that today 100 incoming, loading, and it would happen like
He
that.
was that good. Even same goes for Raman Lamba also.
Yeah.
A huge figure, stalwarts of Delhi cricket. Unfortunately, Raman Lamba is no more. With Ajay Sharma, we know what happened. Played just one test match, always in the shadows of Mohammad
Yeah.
Azharuddin.
I'm coming back to Manoj. You know our good friend Rajiv Mishra. So he was saying they were at a net in Gargi or whatever. So he said I'd gone there for the nets and Prabhakar was a coach at that time or whatever. So he said there also there was a Ranji player batsman who he was trying to say something and he was not listening to him. He said at this age also, must be 50 plus whatever. He said he took the ball 2 steps and he said every ball he would tell me, like I was standing pitch. So he said first ball, he said कि मैं अभी पहली डालूंगा, outswing डालूंगा, he'll try and do it. He said वही डाला. He said next day डालूंगा. Fourth ball he says अब देखना है मैं डालूंगा अंदर डालूंगा ये drive के लिए जाएगा and between the thing he'll be bowled. He said exactly fourth ball bowled like that, tuck in out. He said exactly what he was telling me before bowling the ball. You would do it
Even as
at
a
that
coach,
age.
even as a coach, he used to be very abusive. He could abuse any of the players.
The players.
That
He
is-
became a Delhi coach recently.
Yeah. Not recently. I think it's been some years now. It's been
5-7 years maybe.
16, 17, I guess he was the coach. 16, 17, that period.
Maybe
Because I would see him at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, just near the boundary rope, giving advice to players at that time. So,
There, someone is pointing out, just go up a bit,
There,
please,
there.
Saransh. There. Soumya Das Gupta is saying Ajay Sharma has the 3rd highest first class 100 in India, minimum 50 innings. Oh, Sarfraz is 1, Vijay Merchant at 2, and Ajay Sharma at 3. Thank you for that, Soumya.
Thank you so much. Yep. No, because I've had the fortune of playing with him. You know,
In
courtesy-
Gurgaon Cricket League.
Gurgaon cricket. Even today, he bowls his left-arm spinners, and now he's very lazy. He'll say, यार हल्की टीम है मैं नहीं खेल रहा. वो खेलते नहीं. He'll come there, guide a few people. Will come up with those fancy stories, about
Old
yeah,
times.
yeah. So you sit with him, you'll enjoy. In fact,
Obviously.
actually, his son Manan. He also is a cricketer, or rather was, but now I think he's shifted base to the US, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
I think when
In fact, both Manan and Tejaswi Yadav, the Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar.
Bihar, yeah. He was a good player, I heard.
Yeah,
because
he was-
I remember Tejaswi got a lot of flack when he got selected for Delhi,
Delhi.
saying that because Lalu's
Nepotism.
son.
Yeah.
But I met a few DDC officials who later told me that he's not a bad cricketer. You're
Not
just
bad, but he's not a brilliant.
he's not India level.
Yeah.
But there's a people saying that the kind of flack that he got, saying that he is a novice and he wasn't that bad. He was quite
he must be
decent.
pretty young. In school cricket, he used to study in DPS, so we played somebody. Actually, at that time, of course, Lalu Prasad Yadav has always been a famous
Big
guy.
name, huh?
So at that time, we were told that DPS से Lalu Prasad
But he
Yadav,
became
his
better, I
son.
think, much
he was
later.
a wicketkeeper then.
Not
But he
sure.
He
became
was very young. He must be obviously he was younger than me. So I think he must be very young. Must be in 7th, 8th standard.
So he became better much later because he was obviously privileged enough to have personal coaching, this, that. So I think when the family may have seen that he's slightly serious, then they got him all that, and then he became quite decent as a cricketer. I believe is what I hear.
So in fact, when the last elections in Bihar happened, of course the what do you call that, exit poll?
Yeah.
Exit poll had predicted that RJD will come, it will form the government.
Yeah.
It didn't happen though. So we were preparing. In fact, I was asked if you know somebody, some of his friends. So I spoke to. I remember Ajay Sharma, his son, had played. So I spoke to him. Everything was arranged. Cameras were sent to his home. All these things. Eventually, you know what happened.
Yeah, but it came very close to forming the government.
Yeah.
BJP formed the government. So he was
coup of
telling
sorts.
Stories about Tejasvi.
Okay, we can take a few questions. Ravichandran Ashwin is here. Let's take Ravichandran Ashwin. He's taken out time to join our thing outside of his own social media work. So it's good. Trending on Twitter. There he is. He's saying what? Today that Prithvi has given an interview to Indian Express and all fans see the... Oh, move on. Why aren't you, Pratik Mandal is saying, why aren't you discussing Hardik Pandya's batting performance? Good point. I think that is something you need to look at. By the way, he's not been in great shape with the bat. Huh?
It hasn't been at
in
all,
the last
actually.
4 months, if you look at it, just that Adelaide match, that semi-final, he's slightly underwhelmed with the bat. Asia Cup, the first game against Pakistan, match-winning show from him. But apart from that, it's been consistency's been lacking.
The opening
Yeah,
game
yeah.
against Pakistan at the MCI, he got a 40 odd if I remember, but
He
very
was
scratchy.
very
Very
scratchy.
scratchy.
Very
Yes. Against Pakistan, the first T20 game that we had, World Cup.
That he shared with
with
No, he
Kohli.
played the brilliant knock in the semis also.
semis, yeah.
Yes.
That
and
was
Asia
his
Cup first
outstanding.
game
Yes.
against Pakistan.
Yeah. What is Silly Point saying? My question to all of you is that will poor Pakistani fans be allowed to come to India to watch World Cup? And if they get alliance, then it would be a big task for security forces. So to answer your question, firstly, will Pakistan be coming for the World Cup is also a question
It's
mark
also a question,
because of what happens with the Asia Cup. We don't know
Yeah,
what their thing
they
is.
will.
Yeah, eventually. Again, if I was to hazard a guess, even I will say that they will. Things eventually get sorted out. They will come. And if they will come, then what has typically happened all the time, if Pakistan is playing, they allow certain amount of visas which are given. But that too, they may have to have their games up north. So they only allow either Chandigarh or Delhi. These are the two places.
Specific visas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Venue specific visas. So and it is mandatory. Whenever these kind of tournaments, whether it's a whenever these multi-nation tournaments are organized, it is mandatory for any government or any country to provide visas to all the people from all the participating nations. So let's not say poor Pakistanis, but Pakistanis will be allowed to enter India, of course, with due diligence.
Like again, FIFA World Cup, Saudi and Qatar didn't have the greatest of relationships before the World Cup. But it was packed with Saudi fans. You cannot stop them from
To be fair, I think everyone knew that would happen once in the opening ceremony. We saw
he had-
Mohammed bin Salman.
But that's
sitting
what
with-
happens.
Hmm.
So I'm saying any kind of issues of friction that you may see,
Yeah.
let's say in the Cricket World Cup, once the World Cup starts, you will see dignitaries from Pakistan being invited and they-
Although many
Diplomacy.
people, many
Yeah, yeah.
people, because you would know Qatar didn't have the kind of space to accommodate so many people. There were people who were staying in Saudi Arabia as a result. There was a huge
Yeah.
tourism boost over there as well as a result.
Yeah.
See, relations between Saudi and Qatar improved in February 2022. That was much before the World Cup also.
No,
Prior
that
to
may have
2
been
years, they
with
were,
the World Cup in mind.
Yeah.
Never
Quite
mind.
like
With the World
May have
Cup,
been
yeah.
with the World Cup in
See,
mind.
we've been hearing a lot of rumors that the Saudis are angling to bid for 2030.
2030,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
That's one of the reasons why
Cristiano
But,
Yes.
they, but they can't do that. Yeah. How can you have two World Cups and just short span in the same part?
No, but you're technically 20.
That is true.
Organizing an Olympic Games is a difficult task, but not in terms of organization, I'm saying, because it's a very expensive exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
very, very, and now that is why I remember some years ago it was being proposed that you should have Olympic Games in multi nations, in not one country. but in
So
two,
one
three.
discipline in one thing.
Because no country has ever made profits out of
Olympic
Games.
Games.
FIFA, your tourism
Gets a massive,
huge
massive
spike.
boost.
Yeah.
By
No,
the way,
you-
Muthurangan, thank you for letting us know. He was just telling us that the Ravi Chandran Ashwin, who's been messaging us, is a fake account.
Oh,
Thank you.
Would have spent 40 rupees to tell us that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, yeah,
I
thank you.
took him as the real Ravi
yeah.
Chandran
We
Ashwin.
made a mistake.
Should have
Sorry.
asked him to unlock you.
Yeah?
Should have asked him to unlock you.
Oh, Muthurangan.
No, the real Ashwin.
How do you know that Ashwin is blocked?
Yeah.
You've confirmed it multiple times.
To whom?
To us.
Huh?
Yes.
In private?
No, on the shows.
I don't think so.
There was one textile is saying Rahul Rawat is an intelligent man. Thank him at least.
Arey, thank you very much.
Textile.
Not
Textile he is. Textile nahi. Textile.
thank you very much. Yeah.
And there was there. See,
There.
textile.
People will endorse your views. Textile.
Textile.
Intelligent.
Do you want to take more
Why-
questions?
what-
Score prediction. Anime fan wants to know.
How? I think Sri Lanka made a wrong call today.
Yeah.
Batting first.
Agreed.
I think 220 to 30. 234.
240.
280. And India will win. Won't be a tough target.
I think 252.
I'm going 310.
Okay.
Audacious.
Yeah, and Kohli scoring 100 and winning.
And India winning.
Yeah, India
Rather than
winning.
Kohli,
Maybe just to deny Virat Kohli a third successive 100.
No.
They'll
Yeah,
fold
no.
out.
Suraj
No.
Randeep is not there. 160 meets Sony. Yes.
Arey,
but from an Indian perspective, I think I'll have my eyes on Rohit Sharma. He's finally looking, he looked in good touch, and you want him to get runs. Yes, Kohli's kind of hit his form back again, but you need Rohit to do that as well. High time.
He loves this ground. No better
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Silly Point is making a silly point. 469.
469.
69.
Aditya Kalvekar, good point. Umran and Kuldeep will be too hot to handle. That is true. I think based on that only they have picked
Ball is
220, 40.
Doing
whatever.
something. Yeah.
Ball is
Yeah.
moving quite
One
a bit.
person asked, why don't you cover Pakistan cricket? I
do.
forget. Yeah, so just
Fair bit.
Sorry?
somebody asked, why don't you cover Pakistan cricket?
Oh, we were covering.
We do, yeah.
We do
That's the
session
answer.
by session updates for the
Cover
England.
Pakistan cricket like the way Pakistani media.
Yes, that we agree. Guilty as charged. But we do cover. So Mridul Krishna has picked 340.
Ooh.
340 will be difficult.
Yeah. Both for India and Sri Lanka.
Cricket Great is saying, please host a cricket quiz between Sports Today and Sports Tak, and Rahul should be the host as he is part of both channels.
Yeah, I can host that, but I'm sure Sports Today will win it hands down.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. But,
We've got an ace up our sleeves, no?
Yeah. Siddharth.
Siddharth.
There.
Siddharth always.
I have no memory of like these guys do.
See, if it's a pure sports quiz, then we're winning. My other sports stuff is there.
No, I know, that's why I'm saying. Even if it's a cricket quiz, even then I think Sports Today will. That even, see, the people there, sports stuff, they're very honest. Even they will admit, even before the start of the quiz, that you people have an added advantage. And as host, don't worry.
That's the other advantage.
That is right. Tough questions, easy questions. Okay, see you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Vanakkam.
Has the birthday boy come or not?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wonderful.
cake. Where is the cake?